The advice and opinions expressed by the host of Autism Live and her guests are meant solely as suggestion and should not be in any way construed as child-specific advice. The Center for Autism and Related Disorders advises working with a board-certified behavior analyst who has experience with autism before starting any intensive behavioral intervention. Any choices you make in determining your child's treatment are completely at your own discretion.
Good morning and welcome to Autism Live. I'm Shannon Penrod. We're coming to you live from the Warner Center in Woodland Hills, California. This is the home for Autism Live. It is also the home for the Center for Autism and Related Disorders. We're so thrilled to be here with you on this Thursday morning live. We are back live. So for those of you who are watching on Facebook and such, feel free to be writing in and talking to us right now. We have a great show planned for you. I'm really excited because in just a few minutes, we are going to, for the first time, get to take a live virtual tour of the Matt Asner Family Center. And we're going to be doing that with Matt Asner and Navah Paskowitz-Asner. And they are in the middle of Camp Ed right now. So this is going to be a really fun little experiment, and we hope that we're going to have a good time doing this. And, you know, it's live via Skype, so it will be what it will be, right? But we're excited about that. And then we have a wonderful guest who's a little bit later on at the end of the show. Nath Trevett, who is a self-advocate, is going to be joining us to talk about a wide variety of things, but his mission to end discrimination against those with other abilities. And so we're very excited to have him join us on the show today as well. And in between, if we have a second, we'll do a mindfulness moment. And of course, we're always looking to answer questions that you guys have, and you can be writing those into us. I'm so excited. I'm ahead of myself. Trevett is already starting to show you some of the different ways that you can connect with us here on the show. And while he's doing that, I want to remind you that while there are many ways to get a hold of us, our homepage is autism-live.com. When you go there, there's a whole lot of things to do. It has the potential to be overwhelming, right? Because there are so many things to do. You can choose videos to look at. You can chat with us. The chat button is at the very bottom of your screen. If it doesn't automatically pop up when we are live, you can make it pop up by just pressing on the live button. I hope that you'll tootle around on our site a little bit and find the things that excite you. There's, I think, something for everyone, and you just have to sort of find what works for you. We've tried to do it in as many different ways as we can, so that whatever way you like to access information, you have the potential to find what you're looking for. Now, what will happen when you go on the website, within 6 or 7 seconds of when you're on the site, a little thing will pop up that will say, you know, do you want to subscribe? And I want to be clear with you that when you fill that out, two things happen. You will get a weekly viewer guide that comes out at the beginning of the week that lets you know who is going to be on the show. And other than that, only in extreme emergencies of something very exciting do we ever email you. It's not one of those things we're going to barrage you with advertisements and things like that. I don't believe in that. But the other thing that will happen if you fill out the subscription is then the pop-up won't come up. If you don't want to subscribe, that's fine too. Just click the little X and it will go away. But we do love having access for you to see who's going to be on the show. It's like your little TV guide for the week to know who's going to be on the show. And when we have people, especially when we have Dr. Temple Grandin on, it's always short notice. So if you're on our mailing list, you will know when she's going to be on. Otherwise, you may not. So that's the name of that too. Now on Thursdays, I'm rushing because I want to get to it. We like to start the show with something we fondly refer to as the jargon of the day. This is when we take on one word, one phrase, one acronym. We give you the actual definition, which whenever possible, I make fun of. Because really, what else is there to do? And then we give you a working definition, hopefully a way that you can begin to understand what exactly are we talking about here? What does this have to do with me? How can this help me in my daily life, for myself or for my child? How can this help me? So there you see it. Our jargon term for today is EO. Doesn't that sound like a ride at Disneyland? Like, isn't there a ride that's something like EO, or there used to be, like the Michael Jackson film didn't have something to do with EO? But let's take a look at what our actual definition of EO. EO is short for establishing operation. Establishing operation is a motivating operation. Oh, well, good. Now that made it clear for me. That establishes. Fabulous. I love that we have the word that's in the actual phrase in the definition. Establishes or increases the effectiveness of some stimulus, object, or event as a reinforcer, thus increasing the current frequency of all behavior that has been reinforced by that stimulus, object, or event in the past. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. If you can figure out what that means based on that definition, then you need to go directly and pick up your diploma for convoluted definitions. What? I even know what an EO is, and I can't make sense, heads or tail of that. So this is why we do the jargon of the day, because I don't know about you, but when they were talking about terms about my son, they would say, well, you know, what EOs do we have on board? And I would be like, well, let's look up what EO, and then you get this and you go, well, now it's crystal clear, right? So let's take a look at our working definition of an establishing operation. Establishing operation is some internal or external variable that makes particular reinforcers even more reinforcing, thus increasing the likelihood that you will engage in certain behaviors associated with accessing those reinforcers. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth here, that this definition was written by a BCBA, a board certified behavior analyst, which is why it's still pretty dense. So establishing operations, I like to whittle it down, and now is when the BCBAs will break out into hives, but let's get started on this, right? A place where we can understand it. Establishing operations are the things that are on board that will change circumstances. So for instance, if you, well, the one that you're going to hear about probably the first that's going to matter the most to you is when you're doing toilet training. So our establishing operation would be that we would give kids salty snacks. Now, why would that happen? Because now a drink of juice, which has always been a reinforcer to this child, is now going to be more reinforcing because they've had salt. So that's an establishing operation. So it's a way of making the juice, which was always reinforcing. Juice was reinforcing, but we want it to be extra reinforcing for this period of time. Why? Because we want the child to have the opportunity to use the toilet because we're toilet training. Does that make sense? So it's something that you do, it's a variable, internal or external, that makes something more reinforcing. So, salty snacks, when you're reading the curriculum and it talks about toilet training and it'll say EO, feed salty snacks. That's your establishing operation. So there are other things that we do that help to make a reinforcer more reinforcing too. Sometimes it's creating a state of what they call deprivation. So if your kid loves one video game, they just, like, it's their favorite. They love Smash Brothers and they want to play Smash Brothers all the time. Sometimes we will set up a circumstance where Smash Brothers isn't available all day long, right? It's only available after 4 o'clock, or it's only available after math class, or it's only available some other time. That's our establishing operation, because if you know, you might love chocolate cake, but if you've had it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, chocolate cake isn't as exciting, right? And if you only have one time of the day when you are gonna get to play Smash Brothers, then Smash Brothers, which has always been reinforcing, gets more reinforcing, right? So establishing operations, it's a way of taking a reinforcer and creating circumstances around it that supercharge that reinforcer. Now, you know, establishing operations can work the other way too. There are ways that I think of it as setting ourselves up for success, but there are also ways that we can shoot ourselves in the foot, right? Getting too little sleep, right? If you are running on fumes, aren't you less likely to be successful? So whenever possible, what we want to think is, what can I do to make things more reinforcing? What can I do to set up my kid for success? So if you want them to drink, then giving them salty snacks is more likely to get them to success, right? If we want our kids to be successful, feeding them healthy food and making sure that they get lots of rest, these are establishing operations that help all things improve. So there you go, EO, now you know. That's our jargon for the day. Moving on, we always have a question of the day. And our question today, and you could be answering this on Facebook, what is the thing that always throws you off your game? So let's say I had a wonderful conversation with somebody the other day, and they were sort of taking me through what their mindset was for the day. And they were saying, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'm going to have this amazing day. I'm going to get all this stuff done. I'm going to exercise today. I'm going to eat well. I'm going to say nice things to myself. I'm going to be nice to other people. It's all going to be okay. And then the day starts, and there isn't time to cook breakfast because of everything else that's going on. And then this person was saying that by 2 o'clock in the afternoon they were having Cheetos, and by 8 o'clock at night they were berating themselves and saying, what is wrong with me? Why am I a person who can't follow through on a simple plan for one day to eat right, exercise? And I think there's a lot of us that are that boat. I count myself in that boat. So what's the thing that shoots you in your foot? What is the thing that throws you off? It's funny with this question. I have been trying, I shared with you guys that I was diagnosed with diabetes a couple of weeks ago, and I just don't have a choice anymore. I got to be a little bit better about making sure I take my pills when I have to take my pills. I have to eat when I'm supposed to eat, and not when I'm not supposed to eat, and so on and so forth. But this thing is the thing that throws me off my game, because the phone rings and I constantly feel like I have to answer it. Even though there are large portions of my day when I can't. Like I'm here doing the show and my phone automatically, I have a thing that shuts it off so that I'm not supposed to be able to get phone calls during this time period. But any other time in the day, it's like, it's the most important thing. And I've really been trying to attend to, now that I've identified, oh, that's what throws me off. It makes me late for things because I answer the phone and now I'm into that, right? It makes me miss opportunities with my kid. It makes me miss opportunities when I should have been taking care of myself. So I'm just trying to notice it now, and when a phone call happens, being able to inhibit, that's what we say in the ABA world, inhibit my response and say, look, that's a phone call. Look at that, and I'm not going to get it right now because I have a thing, I have voicemail, even though on my phone it says don't leave a voicemail. But in any case, what's the thing that's throwing you off? What's the thing that always gums up the work? And what do you have in your arsenal to change that? Is it something that you need to stop attending to? Is it something that you need to attend to that's throwing you off? We have all these gadgets now and things that can remind us. I'm being told that I have to get a Fitbit so that it'll buzz every hour and remind me that I need to get up and move around a little bit. Is there a timer that you can, I went through 2 years of doing this show and occasionally having the phone ring before I realized, oh, there's a thing on my phone that I can just tell it during this time, don't take phone calls. And that usually works, not always. But is there a way that you can circumvent this for yourself? Is there a way that you can help yourself so that you don't always have to be thrown off your game? This is, one of the keys towards living the life that you want to lead, right? And what a great thing then to translate for our kids. What's throwing them off their game? What's the thing that distracts them? What's the thing that is it a sensory thing? I can think of a perfect example that when my son was in first grade, the first thing that they would do in the morning, they would come in and they would have to sit in circle time, what they called circle time, but they were in a square on this carpet that had little dots, and they all had to sit on their dot, and she would take attendance, right? And he was sitting behind a little girl who had a beautiful long blonde ponytail that she constantly liked to swish. And her mother would put all this clickety-clack in her ponytail, and that would be it for my son. He would sit down, and for the next half hour would be about the ponytail, and then he'd be looking at it the rest of the day over at the ponytail. And what they discovered is if she wasn't sitting directly in front of him, that he didn't notice it for the rest of the day. That it was just that beginning thing, and it was upsetting his apple cart. And as soon as they moved where she was sitting, so she was sitting behind him, he had a better day. Such a little thing. And then he was more successful. So what's upsetting your apple cart? What's upsetting your kid's apple cart? And by the way, write into us. It's good to know from all of you what, that helps inform the rest of us, right? Okay, next, moving on, we always have a topic of the day. We got to get there because we got a tour coming up. So let's take a look at the topic. It's really the topic of the week. There it is, knowing the difference. Okay, so you know what this is from? The Serenity Prayer. For those of you who don't know the Serenity Prayer, it's grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's the hard part, right? Knowing the difference. But if you can look at things and go, okay, I don't have control over this. And for a lot of us that are parents, that have kids that are on the spectrum, boy, there's a loss of control there, right? Your child is on the spectrum, your child perseverates, your child engages in a behavior, and we want to control it. We want to change it. We want to change our circumstances, right? That's a very normal thing to feel. Absolutely normal thing to feel. It's just not helpful or accurate, right? What do you actually have control over? And we talk about this on the show a lot, that really behavior is a tough thing. We think we want control over the behavior, but that leads us down a path of frustration for ourselves and for the other individual. Because remember, all behavior is communication. So when they engage in a behavior, it's because there's something about that behavior that's giving them a paycheck. And that paycheck is important. It may be that the paycheck isn't giving them the paycheck they really want, but they don't know how to get the paycheck they really want. So when we're talking about changing behavior, you really need to know the difference between the things you can control and the things you can't, right? What we don't really have control over behavior. And you gotta sit with that. You gotta take the deep breath and go, okay, behavior is not really what I have control over. You don't have control over anybody's behavior, right? But you have a lot of control over establishing operations. You have a lot of control over what happens before a behavior, and you have a lot of control of consequences that happen after the behavior. And really, in ABA, that's what we learn is so effective. That you can shape behaviors, you can change behaviors by controlling antecedents and consequences. The antecedents are what happens before the behavior. So if you know that your child is always having a meltdown, at bedtime, you can change the hour that happens before bedtime. And I guarantee you can change, and that meltdown doesn't have to happen. And you have control over what the consequence is for the meltdown, right? And everybody thinks that that's about punishment. It really isn't. A lot of times we are actually rewarding the behavior that we don't want to see happen, and we don't even recognize it, right? So take a minute to ask yourself, what do you have control over? What don't you have control of? Know the difference, but in terms of behavior, focus on what happens before the behavior and what happens after the behavior. And the other important part of changing behavior is making sure that somebody gets the paycheck that they wanted to begin with. So if your kiddo is having a meltdown every night at bedtime, it's part of that is happening. That meltdown is happening because there's a paycheck for the meltdown. And sometimes, there are all different reasons why that could happen, but sometimes it's because just the fact of having the meltdown means it's longer before they have to go to bed. And if there was a way that they could say, can I just have 10 more minutes? They would do that rather than have the meltdown, because having a meltdown, it's a lot. It takes a lot of energy, it's exhausting. In and of itself, usually meltdowns are not something that people like. So giving people a replacement that actually gets them the thing they want, that's where there's real power. That's knowing the difference. Anyway, we're going to talk more about that later and hopefully tomorrow. But we're late. So on the show today, as I mentioned before, we have two amazing guests, three total. But Matt Asner and Navah Paskowitz-Asner, and look, there's a picture of Ed with them too, the fabulous Ed Asner. We're going to be joining them in just a second. We're going to take a break, and we're going to go to the Ed Asner Family Center so that we can take our first virtual tour on the show. The place is amazing. You're going to love it, so stick with us.
Do you provide care services to someone with autism? Recently, more and more children are being diagnosed with the condition and getting the support they need as awareness grows. But what happens to these children as they grow up? It's estimated that over 500,000 youth with autism will turn 18 in the next decade, and they'll be faced with a very difficult reality. As children with autism grow up, their services start to disappear or become very difficult to access. Things like medical care, mental health counseling, vocational training, and more. All services that are still desperately needed. The loss of support that youth with autism face as they grow up is so severe that it's referred to in the autism community as falling off a cliff. Adults with autism need the same level of support they had as children to avoid falling off the services cliff. Introducing Skills Living, the web-based software designed specifically to help transitioning youth and adults with autism so they can avoid the cliff and instead fly to success. With Skills Living, help your learner with autism develop the skills they need in all the critical areas of adult life, including self-control, planning, and problem-solving, effective communication, performing life skill tasks for independent living, acquiring and maintaining employment or other meaningful activities, developing and maintaining social skills and relationships, accessing transportation and public services, and being safe. Skills Living includes a comprehensive assessment, a data collection mobile app, behavior intervention plan builder, and automatic progress reporting. It also provides a complete curriculum addressing 16 key areas spanning the entire range of functioning adulthood. Skills Living is easy to use and can be implemented by schools, parents, and autism service providers. Call or click today for your free demo and see how Skills Living can help your learner with autism avoid the cliff and instead reach their fullest potential. Skills Living. Wish, learn, become.
Welcome back to Autism Live. I want to really quickly say hi to all the folks watching us around the world. Hi to Rachel in Kenya. Hi to Faith in Arizona. And hi to Helen in Dubai. And I want to say to Little Murphy, you asked for an example of the difference between internal and external. So external are things that happen outside of you. So that would be adding the salty snacks because that's happening outside of you. Internal, like I was saying, if you are underslept, that would be an internal thing. Hopefully that helps elucidate. Okay, but you guys, we're so excited because right now joining us via Skype live from the Ed Asner Family Center, we've got Navah Paskowitz-Asner and Matt Asner. Look at you guys. You look so cute. They're outside the center, and are we going to get to start the tour right here? And they froze. But on a great picture. Have we got them? Yep. It's not the best signal. Okay, so are we going to go inside? They're out in the parking lot. Everything was working so great, and then they cut to me, and you know my face can stop a clock. So here we are. Skype said, no, denied. We don't even have sound. Every once in a while, we're seeing the picture move. Let's go ahead and have them, maybe we need to try recalling them and see if the Skype connection will work a little bit more. They've come closer. Oh my gosh, it's not what we had hoped for. What can I say? So Traven, I'll let you deal with that separately. I'm gonna go back to talking to our folks on YouTube. And we'll come back to this, Traven. Is that okay? Now I've lost Traven. I'm just here by myself. All right. Okay, so we're going to let them figure that out for a second, so we don't have to watch them like an old-time movie with, slow motion animation. But want to go back, since we've got a second, for Little Murphy. We were talking about establishing operations, and she asked to know the example between internal and external. So that's what I was referencing. Internal are things that are happening inside of you. External are variables that, yes, I can hear you now. Is that Matt? All right. Are we back? Okay, they're going to turn the camera on. But now I can hear you crystal clear, Matt. But in the meantime, we're looking at a lovely picture. You guys can see on the wall all those dots. If they were to move back a little bit, what you would see is the house from up, and those are balloons. I can hear you beautifully. Look, now I've got you guys. That's wonderful. Yay. Yeah, we're ready. You take us on the tour. Okay. It's gorgeous. Big and bright. How gorgeous. Thank you, Sprouts. Hi, Emily.
Hi. And over here we have, this is one of our honorees, which is my father, Dorian Paskowitz, who is naming all of our health and wellness programs, which include meditation and mindfulness and Reiki and yoga. That's all under the auspice of the Dorian Paskowitz Health and Wellness Program, which I'm very proud of.
And then over here,
yes.
This is our wall of ed.
Wall of ed.
Right here. So you have like different stuff from his career. This is going to be kind of a mishmash of career stuff. So we have a little.
Do you want to go up closer to
memorabilia? What is it called?
It's like a little display case, but it looks like the TARDIS, doesn't it?
It does. I love it. I love it.
So we got his Pixar statue there, and his award from the first gala from the Asner Family Center, and a bunch of stuff from Up, the original script from Up,
Wow.
the Mary Tyler Moore script, a couple other things, an Academy Awards ticket book. So lots of fun stuff in there.
Love it. We all want a wall of ed.
Here's the Brady Bunch of Autism.
Love it.
Right there.
For people who
Written
don't.
by the late great Justin Forbes.
Brady Bunch of Autism. And that's a painting by...
One of beautiful Nancy's paintings, and Nancy, will show you, is another one of our honorees in our program.
So why don't we step in here?
And Shannon, I just wanted to point out we're in the throng of Camp Ed. We're in our first week, which is, what is our first week thing, guys? Animal Week.
Animal.
So we went and saw the incredible animals at Ava Lunn's Special Spirit and Danny's farm yesterday. We so excited. And everyone, come on in and come to Camp Ed. Right, Eddie?
So this is our camp. This is our main room. So this is where all the performance is going to happen. So dance, acting. We'll do Ed Talks here once a month from the stage, which is over there. And these are our campers. And so say hello to Autism Live, everyone. Hey, we're live. Live on the internet from the Ed Asner Family Center. So you can see that the campers have done like an amazing job on the walls. This is all construction paper on the walls. This right here is
It's a mural that
thank you.
our art director, Aviva Paskowitz, created. Here's our beautiful camp director, Andrew Pascal.
Hi, Andrew.
And as you see on the walls, Andrew and the kids decorated. So each one of our weeks has a theme to it. So we're in the midst of Animal Week. Next week, we're going to have Music Week, which is up there. The following week, we have Movie and Film Week. And then we have Heroes Week. And I love this wall. That's our Heroes Week wall.
Awesome.
And then week number 5 is our Art Week, which is way way out there in the corner. And then my favorite week over here is the surfing and celebration week. And we're going to have on our final day at camp an incredible carnival. And
There's Navah.
there I am surfing, created by Amy Fagan.
And this is the up house, which is fun.
But our last day is going to be an amazing day because not only did on week number 6 can you go surfing, but on week number 6 at the last day we're going to have a full-on carnival. We can dunk Matt Asner naked.
No, I'm not going to be naked.
Okay, not naked. But
we
it's
want
just
you
going
to
to be
actually
an
arrive there.
amazing, yeah, that would be horrifying.
It's just a rumor.
It's going to be an amazing week, and I'm very excited about all of our themes this year. But the most important part is that we're in our own home. Everyone can relax. It's just a totally new experience being in our own home. Should we go look at the kitchen?
Yeah, I'm going to quickly show them the stage.
Okay.
This is our stage right here. So this is where all the performance is going to happen. We're going to have dance here, ballroom dancing will happen over here, but we'll have dance recitals here. We'll have music, band performances here. We'll screen talks, TED Talk on here, and we'll have a lot of fun from this stage. We have a great sound system that was donated by QSC. We're really thankful to them. And Roland has donated all of our music instruments. So we're really very fortunate to be able to provide people, individuals with some great instruments to play with. So we're going to walk this way. Right, now friends and family, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Trevett.
Thank you. This is our kitchen. So we have a kitchen where individuals can learn different aspects of food preparation and cleanup. Actually.
Yeah. We're
So-
teaching, I mean, there's the culinary, it's more culinary during Camp Ed, but after Camp Ed, in the fall, we're going to do much more vocational training. So it'll be how do you create your own day-to-day structure as an autistic or special needs adult living independently. So even like loading a dishwasher or learning to work a toaster oven or microwave. It's going to be much more vocational training after Camp Ed. And we have this beautiful space that we're very excited about.
And Shannon, do you have any questions before we head to the next building?
It's absolutely beautiful, you guys. I'm so
Thank you.
excited for you. It's big and bright and beautiful, and which is just like what the programs are that you guys are doing. Big and bright and beautiful.
Thank you.
As you're walking, maybe tell us what the dates are on the camp and how people could sign up, because there are still some openings in the other weeks for campers.
Definitely. So
We'll walk and talk at the same time.
our next week starts on Monday, and we go Monday through Friday. Our last camp begins on August 12th, so you have a lot of time to reach out to me. And the best way to get in touch with us for Camp Ed is just to do www.asnerfamilycenter.org, or you can write to nava@asnerfamilycenter.org.
Okay, so where are you taking us now?
What was that?
Where are you taking us now?
Okay, this is our yard. So every nice building has to have a yard. So this is where people can kind of blow off steam and enjoy some recreation. We do we have
Squishy.
yes, it's squishy. We have one of our programs is Special Fit, and we do Special Fit out here where kids can work out and get a physical.
Run by
fitness
Mike
regimen.
Ramirez, and he's an amazing guy. He's within the health and wellness programs, and he's also going to be teaching nutritional counseling to the parents and the children in the fall. And that's Mike Ramirez, who's the owner of Special Fit.
And one of the projects that we did at camp on Monday was we created a bird feeder.
Mhm.
So this is I guess peanut butter and seeds.
All the kids did
And
that.
you can see that some of them are gone. That means
Oh,
it's
the
working.
birdies have been eating it.
It's working. So lots of people on the swings and on breaks. So we'll come this way.
Yeah, a lot of the times during camp, the kids are out here
We have lunches over there.
I love that there's sunscreens over almost the top of the whole playground.
Yes, very
too.
important.
Southern California, I mean, it's amazing. Yeah,
It
Yeah.
cools it off a little bit.
yeah.
And it's been thankfully. Oh yeah, let's walk over here to the garden. Thankfully, it's been a mild summer so far.
Yes.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
So hopefully, it'll probably get very hot. But
This is something that our beautiful secretary, Emily, created. And it's a gardening program that the kids are doing during camp and also during the year. And it's called the Friendship Garden. And they're using it in all the different programs. So in the art program, they're going to be painting the boxes next week. They're tending to the plants. They're learning about different kinds of plants and different kinds of gardening. And it's just a wonderful new program that's part of the kids learning something within Camp Ed and also going to the next level and making it more of like a real vocational possibility. I know Will loves gardening, and to have him do that as a long-term goal is definitely something he'd love to do.
something actually he started with my mom and
Yeah.
continued. So this is basically, we have tomatoes, we have strawberries, we have mint, we have lavender, we have stuff that people can. be
And it's
excited
just
about.
the beginning. This is our first kind of foray into gardening, and it's been one of the kids' favorite blocks of Camp Ed.
I love it.
And so now we're going to go inside our next building. Follow us.
We're right behind you.
Okay.
This is great, you guys. We're starting to lose the signal, but we were doing so well there.
Very warm here.
We've lost the
We're
signal
thankful
a little
to be
bit. It might
inside.
reestablish
Yes.
once we get in the building.
Alrighty.
So this is
All
building
right.
two.
So this, we'll let it adjust the light a little bit. Is it okay?
Another mural that is kind of an ode to our namesake, Ed, created by Aviva Paskowitz, our art director.
Very talented. She does
Oh, yeah.
beautiful work.
It's from her mama.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
This is our kind of wall of fame.
Events wall. Kaylee,
Friendship.
our VP of events, created this, and Aviva added a few things, but this was Kaylee's vision, and it's just kind of the last year, our events and our camps and
Friends.
yeah.
It's beautiful.
So now, this way here, and holding the camera right now is Steve McDonald.
He's
And
doing a
Steve
great
McDonald
job.
and our board chair, Bob DeMarco, have put together a very special room for us that we think is one of the most exciting rooms of the place. So this right here is our media room.
Love it.
And we'll have lots of amazing classes in here, including green screen improv from Spec Labs and podcasting class. We'll do probably podcasting from here and all sorts of kind of fun things. We've already actually shot in here. We shot something with my dad in here for a big barbecue that we're having on the 25th of July.
Uh-huh.
Got a lost connection.
Oh no!
No, we're still getting you. We lost it.
Okay.
Got a little garbled, but we could still hear you the whole time. You froze, but we could still.
Oh good.
Now I lost you.
Okay, so we're good.
Yeah, I can hear you, but your picture is
Are we
frozen.
good?
I can hear you, but your picture is frozen. Now I've lost him. What he's about to show us, though, you guys, right through that doorway, I know because I was there for the tour, is an amazing room where they can do voiceover. Can you hear me, Matt? All right, come.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, can you see us now?
I can see you, but it's a little bit, we're getting, a picture at a time, and then you freeze.
Oh, no, okay.
But we can see.
Well,
We can see. Go ahead
Okay.
and show us the microphone room, the voiceover room.
okay. So this room here is our VO room, our isolation room. So
And it's great, you guys.
Yeah.
All right,
Are we out?
let's come back until we
good?
get it established. We're not good. But it's a great
Okay.
room. I've seen it, and it's a great room.
Well,
I
wait.
don't know why we don't have connection there. It's probably
I
because
don't
it's
either.
soundproofed.
It's a big building.
It is a big building. It is
So should we call you right back and see if we can get you on
Yeah,
real
let's
quick?
do that. Let's do that. But
All right.
for those of you who are watching, I just want to point out, and it's live, I mean, it is what it is, but it's a great facility and what a wonderful opportunity. They've been working so hard for the last, I don't know how many, 4 years, and now finally have cut the ribbon on this wonderful facility. And I heard him for a second. It's not only a place for our kids to go and take all kinds of classes, but what you're going to see as they continue the tour is that it's a place for the
Are
whole
we good?
family. I can hear you now.
Can you see us now?
I can see a picture. I'm seeing the microphone stand. And now I've lost him. But anyway, as they tootle down the hallway, I know they're going to be
So,
talking.
can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. It's
Okay,
starting.
so this is our voiceover room, and we're going to go back in the hall because I can tell you about the voiceover room in the hall.
Yeah,
And I think it might get better in here.
it is for
Is
some
that
reason.
that better?
It's better. It's so much better. Better signal in the
See,
hallway.
there we go.
Uh,
I'm an IT guy. So that room in there was our voiceover room. So we'll have voiceover class in there. We'll do probably tracking for some music in there, and we'll have lots of fun in there. It's going to be a great experience for people. This here is our wall of basically.
It's tributes from all of our kids that came to camp, and each person made a little kind of a tribute to camp experience, their own camp experience. So Emma says, Camp Ed was so much fun. I had a blast. I can't wait to go back and meet more new people, make more friends. I loved it. Age 13, Sophia, back home. So each kid made a little tribute to their experience and how much fun they had at Camp Ed. This is cool. Some of our kids who their parents are getting a little support, parents want to give back, so they do like a parent volunteerism, and they're helping us with mental health, kind of like guiding the clients when they come in, and we'll have somebody here kind of manning our second building. So we have a parent volunteer staff here almost every day.
And I just want to mention something. So you've heard a lot about Camp Ed, and that's a huge part of our programming. This is our director of mental health right here.
Oh,
Chris
no.
Assad is coming in, walking in. And you can actually join us for a
Oh,
second.
yeah, because we can
So,
look into your office.
but I want to mention before we start the rest of the tour, we're more than a camp. So starting on Sunday, next Sunday, not this Sunday, but next Sunday,
Right.
we're going to be starting our regular programming, which is going to be every Saturday and Sunday, starting out during Camp Sunday. Right?
So during camp, we're going to only be open on Sundays, and we're only going to have a very limited amount of programming. So we'll have special fit, physical fitness. We'll have Jessie Keenan doing her voiceover class. We'll have the incredible Mandy doing ballroom dancing, and Jean Morrison, who's doing an incredible adaptive karate for our younger crew, because we've had a lot of classes and things for teens and adults, but Jean is going to teach adaptive karate 3 to 6 year olds and 7 to 12 year olds. So we're really excited about that. Starts the first group of Sunday classes start on July 21st, and you can also write to me, Navah at asnerfamilycenter.org if you have questions about our Sunday schedule.
So a big part of our programming is mental health. We have a partnership with CSUN that is providing us with therapy and therapists that are trained by the renowned Sarita Friedman. And I'm going to let you just talk a little bit about how people can get hooked up with therapy.
So right now we're ready to go. We have, like Matt said, we're partnered up with CSUN. If you'd like to come in for individual therapy or family therapy, please give us a call. And we're starting to do intakes and assessments. and we currently have availability.
How can they get signed up?
So you can go to our website,
At AsnerFamilyCenter.org.
and under the Mental Health Services tab, you can click the drop-down box, and then there's information about our center. And also in the fall, we're going to be offering groups as well. But for right now, it's one-on-one or family therapy. And the phone number is there that you can call in and let us know what you need. And I will be doing the assessments and the intakes.
Great.
Navah, you want to give our phone number?
You can reach us at 818-929-7953. And I will,
Are you going to do the tour for the rest
So
of the
this is Chris's office, but it's also a one-on-one therapy room.
and we literally just opened yesterday, so it's going to look much cuter. We're going to have paintings and plants,
Absolutely.
but we're very excited.
For confidentiality.
But it's
and
very
also,
cute.
Check our website,
Yes.
because we're also accepting donations for lamps
Yes.
and
Other donations as well.
and other donations. I'm going to have, the wish list.
Definitely. If anybody wants to send us some beautiful paintings for this room, because it's pretty barren.
Ocean themed.
All right.
All righty, we're moving on.
Moving on.
So the
It's
next
all
room-
beautiful.
The next room is our art room.
And this is also the Nancy Sykes-Asner art program after Maddie's beloved mommy, who was an incredible artist. And I'm especially proud of the art room because it's run by the beautiful Aviva Paskowitz, who created this whole room from nothing. And she's painted the friendship tree. It's to extend with our friendship garden. This is just, all of the artwork in here is literally from
Camp.
From last year's camp. These paintings you're looking at now are just from this past week of our Animal Week. And there's another mural behind you, which I love, sunflowers.
And the great thing about this room is if people get dirty, hold on one second. If people get dirty while they're doing their art, they can come in here and wash off because there's a little kind of sink action here and there's a little shower so people can, when they get dirty, they can just kind of take care of things and we can wash things off very quickly.
Very cool.
So it's very functional, very functional. Follow me.
And this center is located in Reseda, correct?
Yep.
Right.
7901 Lindley Avenue in Reseda.
In Reseda. Great location.
And we're we're right past Satakoy, and you take a left on Arminta. And if you want to do a tour, a private tour, you can call us, and we'll schedule a private tour for you as well.
Cool.
This is our family room. So this is where we have group therapy and family meetings, and we have a creative writing class that's happening on Tuesdays with Kathy Kadams. She's teaching that, and so this is our kind of group room.
And the creative
And we're
writing
doing-
class is for parents, correct?
Yes.
Yes, the creative writing class, she's taught children in the past, but for our initial class, it's just a mom's group, and the moms are loving it. It's very therapeutic, and I would love to be in it myself, but I don't have,
I would too.
I can't slot that time. But this room is, we're also going to be starting after camp, the end of August. We're going to be starting our first group teen boys sex ed and social media class, and teen girls sex ed and social media class as well. So we're doing a lot of different groups this year that we hadn't done in the past, that I'm very
Love
excited
There'll
about.
be an LGBTQ
Support
group that
group
meets here.
With an MSP, and this is really where we want people to be able to come in and get group support, family support. If Krista was seeing a family at once, for initial intake. Should be seeing them in here as well. And during camp, we're actually doing some of our improv classes in here. So it's kind of like a multi-purpose room for now.
Love it.
Are you gonna peek into your office?
We'll go to this room first.
Oh, yeah.
Carl the fish room.
Oh, yeah, this is great.
So this is,
Carl the grumpy fish.
yeah. And you'll understand why it says that in 1 minute.
Okay.
I'll let Matt go in by himself because this is our mental health one-on-one room. And it's really, truly just that. It's a wonderful spot for you to have privacy and really get some really more intense therapeutic support with a one-on-one MFT. We put a little fish in here, and he's
Carl's
a grumpy
right
tetra?
He's a beta.
Beta. So we called him Carl after Carl Fredrickson.
So we're getting the fish tank ready for more fish. Here he is. See him?
Yeah, I do see him.
Yeah, he's dancing for you.
He
So
doesn't
we-
look at
we-
all grumpy.
No, we're getting the tank ready for other fish, and there'll be more fish in there in probably 2 weeks. So that's Carl the fish room.
Okay.
This is where
Kaylee
I spend
and
the dog. This is where
Phoebe.
we spend a lot of time. I spend a lot of time because these are our administration offices.
Love it.
So this is Kaylee Millette. Say hi, Kaylee.
Hi, everyone.
Who's our VP of events
There's
and her dog.
Phoebe, our mascot.
It's a center mascot.
And again, we haven't even started.
There's no art hanging on the walls
Decorating,
in here,
yeah.
unfortunately, but there will be soon. And but we started and it's lots of fun. People are running over to get out of the way. And this is my office, so this is the most
I get a
important room for me.
panic attack when I go in there. So cluttered.
It's not cluttered, not yet.
Very
This is the
cluttered.
cleanest you'll ever see it, so I'm really proud to show it
Really?
off.
They
Because it is the cleanest you will ever see it. Look, oh wait, where's the thing that, oh here, look at this. Look at that.
love it.
You see that?
I do see that.
There we go. I got that from you guys. So
For
this is
work
my
well
office.
done.
So that's
Was that a picture of
that's
your
the-
dad or of Shatner directly above this?
this one right here.
Yeah, is that Shatner?
That's Shatner.
Why do you have a picture of Shatner on your office wall? And what is he
Well,
like?
okay. The secret. My secret comes out. I'm actually a Star Trek. So.
I did not know
and-
we had that in common, Matt. We have much to talk about.
Oh wow, we should talk about that. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm an original series kind of guy. So.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and then
very
here's one.
fun.
Here's a photograph of Bill Clinton that I took at the White House, in the Roosevelt room, and I sent it to him, and he sent me a letter.
Wonderful.
So that gets full. That goes on my wall immediately.
There you go.
So
And it looked like there was a
So,
letter from
all right,
JFK
there's my-
right next to it.
that's right. That was to my aunt. So
Very cool.
I inherited that.
I
So
love it.
that basically is our center in a nutshell, and.
I just wanted to remind
you
everyone
enjoyed it.
about our community family barbecue night. It's not just for Camp Ed, even though it's during Camp Ed. It's from 5 o'clock. It starts at 5 o'clock, and it's on July 25th. And
July
it's going to be amazing. And because it's the UP 10-year anniversary,
No, anniversary.
Anniversary.
we're going to be showing up. So it's going to be not just a barbecue, it's going to be family, community, and we're going to watch Up. So it's
I
going to be a
love
wonderful
it.
night. And anybody can sign up. And again, just reach out to me at Navah at edasnerfamilycenter.org or go on to our website, www.edasnerfamilycenter.org. And we'd love to have you come for our first community event.
I
And just
love it.
to reiterate, we still have we still have placements for camp available.
Yep.
So please reach out to us. And we also have our regular programming starting on Sunday. What is Sunday?
21st.
Sunday the 21st.
And Shannon, our Surfing Celebrations Week, which is the 6th week, our surf team is going to be Sean Swetnick's Walk on Water. So we're very excited that Sean and his whole group of Walk on Water is going to bring all of their team, all of their volunteers, and they're going to teach Camp Ed to have a wonderful surf day.
Wow. You guys are doing amazing work. This has been a lovely tour. I can't thank you enough for your time, but this is amazing work that is going to change our community, and I hope that it's just the beginning and that there will be more Ed Asner Family Centers around the country and around the world, because this is cutting edge. So thank you for the work that you're doing.
From your mouth, Shannon. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you so much. You guys have a good rest of your
Good,
day.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Come take a tour. Come take a tour.
Send your kids to camp. That's what you need to
Yes.
do. And sign up for a class and for some help and support for you and your family. All right, bye-bye, you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
We'll talk to
Thank
you soon.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That was so amazing, but we're way past time. We need to get to our guest that we have not gotten to. So we are going to do that really quickly and go a little bit over. Stick with us.
Can you have a life with autism? Absolutely not. Give it up right now. No, that's not true. I'm here to tell you, you can have a life with autism. I have a life with autism, and it's a good one. When you start on this journey, you don't know what's going to happen. You really have no idea. You're kind of in shell shock for the first couple years. It could be as long as 5 years until you realize, I do matter to people. When my son was first diagnosed, I remember thinking I would go anywhere and do anything for him. I didn't even think about it. I just came way at the bottom of the list. However, after a few years passed, I realized if I'm not important anymore, then that means no one's going to be here for him. So how do you have this life with autism? It's not easy. It's never going to be easy, but it can be done. It's really all about support. And support is a word you're going to hear a lot when you deal with the autism power structure. And that means schools, government agencies, social service agencies that can help you. There are things out there that you don't even know exist. So once you start connecting with other parents, you're going to kind of find this treasure chest full of things that only they can help you unlock. But once you get that support, it could be a babysitter coming to your home. It could be a therapist to take your child out and get him into the community. You can either leave the house, do your shopping, go to a farmer's market, do whatever you want to do. And it doesn't matter if it's really only about 5% of your time. As long as it's dedicated to you, that's going to help. It's all about your willingness to find support and your willingness to accept change and your willingness to kind of stick up for yourself, because you're battling for your child and you have to realize you guys are connected. There's a bond between you and your child that can never be broken. And if you're doing well, then your child's going to do well. So finding what you need to be happy, whole, and healthy as a person is a way that you can have a life with autism. And that's important too, because if you have a life with autism, you can also give your child a life too.
Hi, Lisa Ackerman back with Talk of Facts. Questions, real life questions and answers for the autism journey. Oh, are you ready for this one? Talk to me about puberty. So what I would recommend is, first and foremost, is the kids that have done the therapeutics, the medical, and the dietary allergen removal interventions tend to have an easier time at puberty. Seizures are really common for children on the spectrum, more than neurotypical populations, and they're especially most common right at or about puberty time. So it's extremely important, even if you have a 10-year-old that you've already done an EEG, that you consider before they go through puberty to get a second EEG done. Just because you have one clean EEG with no abnormal brain activity or seizure activity, you need to do another one prior to puberty. That's one of the most common calls we get with teens on the spectrum, is they are often experiencing a seizure for what their family thinks is the first time. And the third thing is you're gonna have a teenager, so you're really gonna have to kick it up a notch on those life skills, social skills, and getting your kid ready to be that teenager they need to be. So if you're doing that baby thing, and I know you are, where you're maybe making their lunches or helping them with laundry, we need to start bouncing some chores over to those kids. And we also need to increase social environments where they can be successful. So think about it. We've got 3 really important things that we need to look at. Puberty is a very serious issue, and we take it very seriously. So make sure you have all of your therapeutics, medical, and dietary interventions in place. Consider to do another 24-hour EEG with your physician prior to puberty. And the third most important thing, get ready to raise the bar. Your job is to really get them ready for life. And I know you can do it.
Welcome back. So Skype is not my friend today. So we were supposed to have Nath, Trevett, and we were running late anyway, and we're having trouble with Skype, and he's coming to us all the way from Wales. So, you know, we're going to take some time, figure that out, and we will pre-record our segment with Nath. We apologize, but we will air that on Monday's show. So I want to thank everybody for being with us today. And I know it was kind of wonky that Skype was going in and out, but I love that you got an opportunity to see the Ed Asner Family Center. I think it's an amazing place, and they're doing amazing work there. And don't forget to tune in on Monday for Nath, Trevett, and for the rest of this week. Tomorrow, we have a great show, Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy, and great guests, so I know you'll look forward to that. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.